I'm Judy, and I'm going to show you how to do a reinforced hip kangaroo. I really like this carry for the babies who like to lean out. It helps to really keep the baby close to your body. And when you reinforce it, that gives a little bit more support, and it's also a good way to use up some extra length. So I'm using a size 5. And what you do first is you're going to find the middle marker, and you're going to put that at about your chest. And just to make it easier to move a little bit, I'll bunch it up. So I'm going to keep the middle here at my chest and just throw this part over my shoulder. Now I'm going to follow this around, bring it around my back, and making sure that it's underneath the part that I put over my shoulder. I'm going to bring it around and then just kind of toss it over my shoulder this way so it's just kind of sitting there while I'm getting my baby ready. And this right here is the pocket where you're going to put your baby. So now it's time to get your baby. Okay, so you get your baby. And you're going to keep them on your hip, holding onto their legs with one hand. With the other hand, reach underneath the pocket you have here. Guide their feet and hold onto their butt. And then switch hands, grab the top rail, pull that up as you slide the baby down. And get the baby situated on your hip. And I'm taking the fabric and making sure that the top rail is right up here by his neck. And all the rest of this I'm going to pull down and tuck underneath him so he has a good seat. Now I'm ready to go ahead and start tightening. So I take this piece that I kind of threw over my shoulder. I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to get the top rail. Okay, you want to make sure they're not twisted. So I get the top rail and I'm just going to pull up on it because I want this to be up as high on my back as possible. That'll help spread the weight better. So once it's up high now I'm going to tug on it. Now I'm going to do strand by strand tightening. Just pull through each section of the wrap, making sure it's nice and snug. Holding it tight. Now I'm going to switch hands. And what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to put this in my opposite hand. Now with this hand I'm going to do my shoulder flip with this other rail. Reach underneath, grab the inside rail, and then I just gather it all up. Then once it's gathered, I flip it over my shoulder. So now it's neatly gathered over my shoulder here, and I have the shoulder flip built in. Now I'm ready to bring it across my back. I reach back here and I grab this rail that's towards the middle of my back, pull it across. So here I have that same rail, and I'm going to lay the whole wrap over my arm so I'm switching and grabbing the bottom rail. So you'll see here that this bottom rail corresponds to the top rail, and that's how I'm going to snug that up. And sometimes you need to help it a little bit. So I reach under and I pull this part here to help with the tightening. So I'm going to pull that through. Now that's nice and tight. Now I'm just going to do again strand by strand, just pulling through each section of the wrap until I get this shoulder flip tight in the way that I want. I still have a little bit of slack here. So I'm going to find that where that slack is. I just pull on the center of the wrap and that tighten that up nicely for me. So I take that whole thing in my hand, snug that up. Now this side, make sure this is nice and snug. So I'm comfortable, and now I'm going to make an X over the baby's bottom, come underneath both feet, and bring it around. Now if I don't have enough wrap, I can tie here. This has really long taper, so I'm going to bring it back around, and I'm going to tie under his bottom. So if you want, you can just leave the crosses unspread. If you want to actually have a little more reinforcement, find the inside cross, take the top part of that rail, and you want to pull it up and just spread it out from one knee to the other. And I do the same thing on this side. Spread it out from one knee to the other. And tuck his little arm in. His little arm is hanging out here, so I'm just going to tuck his arm in. Pull this up on my back a little bit more. And just for my own comfort, I'm going to pull this off of my neck some. So I'm pulling it off of my neck, making sure it's still tight. And there you have it, a reinforced hip kangaroo. It's a one-shouldered carry with a lot of support. Thanks.